The best revenge is massive self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius. Ever notice, my friends, that life has this funny way of testing you? Just when you think someone's walking out of your story for good, the universe hands you a choice: crumble or climb. Before we dive into this, do me a favor. Press that like button, subscribe, and stay with me till the end, because what you're about to hear isn't just advice, it's an awakening. Hey folks, imagine this. You're standing in a storm. The wind is screaming, the rain is slapping your face, and the door you thought would open has just slammed shut. Most people would run for cover, but the Stoic doesn't. He stands still. He looks at the storm and says, "I can't control the weather, but I can control how I walk through it." That, my friends, is how you make them regret losing you. Not by shouting, not by chasing, but by walking through the storm so powerfully that silence itself becomes thunder. You see, we were taught a lie. The world told us that revenge means proving them wrong, that you need to make them see what they lost, make them miss you, make them hurt. But here's the truth. Chasing regret is like chasing smoke. The harder you reach for it, the faster it disappears. Real power comes when you stop performing for someone else's applause and start building a life so full that their absence barely fits in it. Think about it. When someone walks away, you think you've lost something. But what if you were freed instead? What if rejection was just redirection in disguise? There's a line I love. Sometimes the door closes because it's time to move forward. Not because you're unworthy, but because staying would have kept you small. Most people don't realize that regret doesn't come from your words. It comes from your growth. They don't regret losing you because you texted them at midnight. They regret it when 6 months later you've built yourself into someone unrecognizable, calm, confident, magnetic, and they're still stuck in the same emotional quicksand. That's when the silence starts to echo. Picture this. You used to beg for their attention. Now you walk past them with peace in your eyes. You used to check your phone. Now you're too busy checking into life. You used to wait for closure. Now your growth is the closure. That's the twist. That's the art. Making them regret isn't about pain. It's about contrast. It's about becoming the version of yourself they can't access anymore, the one that doesn't need their approval to shine, the one who stopped chasing explanations and started chasing excellence. That's where true Stoic power lives, in indifference, in composure, in your decision to keep walking when they expect you to crawl. So, my friends, as we go through this together, remember this. The goal isn't to make them suffer. It's to make yourself proud, to rise so high that their memory has to look up to see you. Repeat this affirmation right now and write it in the comments below. I rise in silence. Say it, type it, feel it. Because that silence, that calm, confident, powerful silence, will be the loudest thing they ever hear. Now buckle up and stay with me, because what's coming next will show you exactly how to turn that quiet strength into the kind of energy they'll never forget. Number 1. Stop trying to prove your worth. Don't waste words on people who deserve your silence. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Let that sink in, my friends, because deep down, you've been fighting battles no one even sees. You've been carrying the weight of someone's indifference like it's your punishment. You keep asking yourself, what did I do wrong? Why did they stop caring? Why wasn't I enough? But here's the truth you've been avoiding. You were never supposed to prove your worth to anyone. The moment you start doing that, you hand them the pen and let them rewrite your value. Imagine this. You're standing in front of a mirror, holding a sign that says, "Please validate me." Every time they look away, you scramble to change the words. You paint yourself brighter, speak softer, work harder, trying to make them turn their head back toward you. But they don't. And it breaks you. Not because you're unworthy, but because you've mistaken their blindness for your failure. We live in a world obsessed with proving we're good enough, attractive enough, interesting enough. It's like a never-ending audition for someone else's approval. But the Stoics, they saw through that illusion centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, not the opinions of others, not their silence, your thoughts, your peace, your standards." Yet they ignore you, and your mind starts spinning. You wonder if you said too much or not enough. You replay the moments, rewriting the story in your head, hoping to find the scene where everything fell apart. But my friends, that's not healing. That's self-torture. That's trying to get warmth from the same fire that burned you. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes they don't see your value because they're too blind to their own. You can't expect someone who's drowning in insecurity to recognize your depth. They'll mistake your stillness for distance, your confidence for arrogance, your kindness for weakness. And when they walk away, it's not because you lacked anything, it's because they couldn't handle the reflection you held up. But the fear creeps in, doesn't it? That whisper that says, "If I don't prove myself, they'll forget me." That's the trap, that's the lie. You think chasing them will keep you relevant, but all it does is drain your power. It's like trying to catch water with open hands. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips away. The moment you stop trying to prove yourself is the moment everything shifts. You stop begging for attention and start commanding respect, not from them, but from yourself. You stop asking, "Why don't they care?" and start asking, "Why do I?" That's the kind of question that rebuilds empires within you. It won't be easy, though. Detaching from the need to prove is like detoxing from a drug you didn't know you were addicted to. Your mind will crave their attention like oxygen. It'll whisper just one message, just one more try. But you must remember, peace feels empty at first because it's replacing chaos. And chaos was all you knew. So when you choose silence, it won't feel strong. It'll feel strange. You'll miss the noise, the back and forth, the validation hit. But in that quiet space, something sacred grows, self-respect. That's the foundation of all regret they'll ever feel later, not because you punished them, not because you made them jealous, but because they'll realize you stopped needing them. It's ironic, isn't it? The moment you stop trying to prove your worth, they start noticing your value. That's how energy works. People are drawn to those who don't beg to be seen, because calmness, composure, indifference, they radiate something magnetic. It's the quiet confidence that says, "I don't chase, I attract." Think of it like this. When you stop running after the bus that left you, another one shows up, and this one's going exactly where you were meant to go. The past was a detour, not a destination. And maybe they were just a stop sign, meant to make you pause long enough to realize you deserve to drive your own direction. You might think walking away is losing, but it's actually your most elegant form of victory, because silence doesn't say, "I don't care." It says, "I've learned what to do." It says, "I value my peace more than your attention." And that, my friends, is how regret is born in others, not through your suffering, but through your transformation. So here's the truth no one tells you. You don't make them regret by proving your worth. You make them regret it by reclaiming it. You make them question everything when you become untouchable, unreachable, unbothered. Because the version of you they took for granted no longer exists. You've evolved into someone they can't read anymore, and mystery is the loudest echo in the world of silence. They'll scroll through your photos, see your piece, and feel that sting, not because of what you posted, but because of what they lost the privilege to disturb. And that, my friends, is poetic justice served cold. Not from ego, but from evolution. So stop trying to prove. Start improving. Build a life that screams without saying a word. Move with purpose, speak with intention, and guard your energy like gold. Let them feel your absence like winter after a long summer. Slow, shocking, undeniable. And when you do this, not from spite, but from strength, you'll realize something powerful. The goal was never to make them regret losing you. It was to make you stop regretting losing yourself. Write this affirmation in the comments right now. I am done proving. Say it like you mean it. Show them, show yourself, show the world around you that your peace is priceless. And stay with me, because what's coming next will show you how to make your silence not just golden, but unforgettable. Number 2, take back the power of silence. Never waste your energy explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Powerful, isn't it? Because silence isn't weakness, my friends. It's strategy. It's your invisible sword in a world where everyone fights with noise. When you go quiet after being disrespected, ignored, or undervalued, people start to feel something they didn't expect. The gravity of your absence. And that gravity, that stillness, speaks louder than any argument ever could. Imagine this. 2 people standing in a boxing ring. One is swinging wildly, desperate to land a punch. The other, calm, composed, just standing there, letting the chaos burn itself out. That's the Stoic approach. That's you. You don't need to fight every battle. Sometimes the smartest warrior is the one who knows when to sheath his sword and let silence win the war. But here's where most people get it wrong. They think silence is passive. They think it's a retreat. They think it's giving up. No, silence is control. It's your way of saying, I choose peace over pettiness. It's not about ignoring them to make them chase you. It's about protecting your mental and emotional space from being invaded again. Yet, silence feels unnatural at first, doesn't it? We're conditioned to react, to explain, to defend, to prove. You think, if I don't say something, they'll think I don't care. But here's the truth. If you keep explaining your worth to people who already decided not to see it, you're not expressing yourself, you're performing. And performers always end up exhausted. Sometimes the loudest revenge is simply no reaction. Think about it. When they expect a response, when they expect you to break, cry, argue, or beg, and all they get is calm indifference, it unsettles them. Because silence holds a mirror up to their behavior. It forces them to hear their own echoes, and those echoes can be deafening. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You always own the option of having no opinion." That's the power you forget you have. You don't need to attend every emotional argument you're invited to. You don't need to explain why you stopped chasing, why you went quiet, or why you're healing in peace. Silence becomes your language of strength, fluent, firm, and final. Here's what happens when you master this. At first, they'll call you cold, then they'll call you mysterious, and eventually they'll call you unforgettable, because the same people who once ignored your presence will start wondering why your silence feels heavier than their words ever did. That's the paradox. When you stop chasing, they start remembering. When you stop explaining, they start reflecting. When you stop reacting, they start regretting. But let's be honest, staying silent takes discipline. It's hard, it's uncomfortable. There'll be moments where your fingers hover over your phone, where your heart screams to say something, to defend yourself, to get closure. But closure doesn't come from their response. It comes from your decision to stop needing one. When you master silence, you stop handing your power to people who thrive on your reaction. You stop playing games designed to keep you small. You reclaim your peace inch by inch, word by unspoken word. And one day, you'll look back and realize your silence was never empty. It was full of everything they failed to value. Think of silence like a reset button. Each day you stay quiet, you're rewiring your energy, teaching your nervous system that calm doesn't mean weakness, it means wisdom. You're teaching yourself that your voice isn't meant for arguments. It's meant for creation, for purpose, for meaning. And that's what scares them the most. Because when you stop responding, they lose control. The drama dies, and they're left with silence that feels like consequence. They'll scroll your page, listen for a message, look for clues. But nothing comes. And in that nothingness, they finally meet the weight of your peace. You see, the goal isn't to use silence to punish. It's to evolve, to reach that state where your quiet confidence becomes their lesson, because nothing shakes the human ego more than being replaced by calm. So the next time they provoke you, remember this: reacting keeps you stuck, but silence sets you free. Each word you don't say becomes a boundary. Each moment you stay calm becomes a declaration. I am not available for chaos anymore. That's the kind of silence that transforms you, not into someone heartless, but into someone untouchable, someone who doesn't need to shout to be heard, someone whose absence whispers louder than their presence ever could. My friends, your silence is not the end of the story. It's the start of their reflection and your rebirth. The version of you that used to over-explain is gone. The one that used to seek closure is gone. What remains now is quiet power, sharp, steady, and unstoppable. So write this affirmation in the comments right now. My silence speaks power. Say it, type it, feel it. Show them, show yourself, show the world around you that sometimes saying nothing changes everything. And stay with me, because what's coming next will show you exactly how to use that silence to build a life so magnetic they'll have no choice but to notice what they lost. Number 3, let time do the talking. Time is the ultimate truth teller. It reveals what words tried to hide. My friends, there's a reason the Stoics spoke so much about patience, because time exposes everything that silence starts. When someone walks away, when they ignore you, when they underestimate your worth, your ego wants to react now. It wants to rush in, explain, fix, or prove something. But here's the paradox. The more you rush, the smaller you look. The more you chase, the further peace runs from you. The wise don't rush what must unfold. They let time become their ally, not their enemy. Imagine this. A seed doesn't scream to be noticed. It doesn't shout at the soil demanding sunlight. It just stays still, buried, invisible, and in that quiet darkness, something magnificent happens. It grows roots. And one day it breaks through the surface so powerfully that no one can ignore it anymore. That's you. Right now, you're buried. But buried isn't dead. It's planted. And while they think you've disappeared, you're simply preparing for the kind of growth that will speak for itself when the time is right. But let's be honest, waiting hurts. It feels like punishment. Because we live in a world that glorifies instant results and quick attention. You post something and check how many likes you got. You send a message and wait to see if they've read it. We've been trained to crave immediacy, but real transformation doesn't live in that world. Real transformation is slow, deliberate, and painfully quiet. You might be wondering, but what if they forget me? What if they move on? And I get it, that fear feels real. But here's the hard truth. They might forget the old version of you, and that's exactly the point. Because the person you're becoming isn't designed to be remembered by people who couldn't value you. Let them forget who you were. They won't recognize who you're becoming anyway. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Time is a river, a violent current of events, glimpsed once and carried away." That means everything changes. Feelings, circumstances, people's perceptions. What they thought about you yesterday may not be what they feel 6 months from now. That's why you don't need to rush to prove anything. The clock is already working in your favor if you stay silent, patient, and consistent. Let's break the lie that says if you don't act now, you'll lose your chance forever. That lie is born from fear, the fear of being replaced, forgotten, or unseen. But the truth? Nothing built fast ever lasts long. Time rewards those who respect its process. You want regret to hit them. Let time carry it to their doorstep while you evolve in peace. You see, time doesn't punish, it reveals. It shows who truly valued you and who only used you for validation. It shows who had depth and who was driven by ego. When you give time enough room to breathe, you'll see masks fall, truths surface, and silence turn into realization. That's when their "I miss you" messages start to appear, when it's far too late to matter. It's funny, isn't it? People don't regret losing you right away. They only start to feel the ache when their new distraction fails to fill the void you once filled effortlessly. They start comparing. They start wondering. They scroll through your life, realizing that while they were busy playing games, you were quietly leveling up. That's not coincidence. That's consequence. Time humbles everyone. The same people who ghosted you may circle back months later, suddenly curious, suddenly respectful, not because you chased, but because you didn't. You see, time has this cruel kindness. It lets everyone taste the flavor of their choices, and your only job is to stay still enough, grounded enough, to let it happen without bitterness. Patience doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing what matters and letting go of what doesn't. Keep building, keep learning, keep living. Every day you stay focused on your path, the distance between who you were and who they remember grows wider. One day, that gap becomes too big for them to cross back. That's when regret hits hardest, not because they can't reach you, but because you no longer care if they do. The greatest revenge is not success, my friends. It's indifference earned through time. Because time transforms your pain into wisdom, your wounds into stories, your silence into strength. What once hurt becomes history. What once broke you becomes your best teacher. So don't rush healing, don't chase closure, don't peek to see if they notice. Just trust that time sees what you can't, and it's already working behind the scenes. The same clock that once counted the seconds of your heartbreak will one day count the moments of your breakthrough. Remember this, you don't need to make them regret anything. Time will, your growth will, your peace will. And when that day comes, you won't even want their apology because you'll be too busy living the life that silence and patience built. Write this in the comments below. I trust time. Say it out loud. Feel it. Because when you trust time, you stop chasing validation and start creating destiny. And stay with me, because what's coming next will show you how to use that time, not just to heal, but to rise so high that even regret can't reach you. Number 4, become unreachable through growth. Don't argue your value. Become so good they can't afford to ignore you. That one stings a little, doesn't it, my friends? Because deep down, we all want to be seen. We want to be recognized, remembered, missed. But the harsh truth is this: when someone overlooks you, it's not a cue to beg louder. It's a challenge to build higher. When they stop noticing you, it's time to make yourself unreachable, not through distance, but through growth. Imagine this: you're a rocket sitting on the launch pad. People are around, some cheering, some doubting, some pretending they don't care. Then one day, ignition. The fire erupts, the ground shakes, and you rise. At first, they can still see you, maybe even mock you. But as you climb higher, their voices fade. Their opinions shrink beneath the clouds. You didn't cut them off. You simply outgrew the altitude where their noise exists. That's what personal growth does. It doesn't require confrontation. It requires elevation. Most people try to make others regret losing them by staying in the same place, showing off, competing, or waiting to be chased. But that's not growth. That's still dependence. Stoicism teaches that true transformation is silent. You don't announce it. You don't perform it. You live it. When you evolve for real, the people who once ignored you will eventually have to look up just to catch a glimpse of the person you've become. But let's break the lie first. The lie that says growth must be visible to count. No, the best growth happens in the shadows. When you're rebuilding your mindset, your habits, your self-respect, that's growth. When you choose sleep over stress, peace over drama, and discipline over validation, that's growth. Nobody claps for it. Nobody sees it. But one day, it shows. You walk differently. You speak differently. You radiate something untouchable. And that's when regret begins to breathe in them, quietly, painfully. It's not easy though, is it? Because growth means leaving behind familiar things, familiar people, familiar chaos, familiar comfort. You'll miss the very things that once hurt you, simply because they're known. The mind resists growth because it equates peace with boredom. It will whisper, maybe I should reach out just to see if they still care. But that's not curiosity. That's fear disguised as nostalgia. Don't feed it. Growth requires that you let go of who you were, even when that version of you still misses them. Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." That's your blueprint, right there. You want to make them regret losing you, then become someone their old energy couldn't even access. Build skills, confidence, and a level of calm they've never seen. Become so focused on your goals that you don't even notice when they start peaking again. When you start this journey, it feels lonely. Growth always does. It's like moving from a crowded room to an empty one. But that silence, that's where your next level is born. You'll spend nights questioning yourself. Is it worth it? Will they ever see what they lost? But the answer is simpler than you think. You'll see what you gained. And when you finally meet that version of yourself who doesn't chase, doesn't seek, doesn't beg, you'll realize that they didn't lose you. You simply evolved beyond their reach. Let's talk about energy for a moment. Energy is currency. When you give it freely to those who drain you, you go broke inside. But when you invest it into yourself, your fitness, your mindset, your mission, it multiplies. That's the wealth they notice later when their own life starts to feel dull in comparison. Not because you rubbed it in their face, but because light always reveals darkness. Your success, your glow, your peace. It's the natural reflection of someone who chose evolution over emotion. They'll feel it eventually, maybe not today, maybe not next month. But when their world starts to echo with emptiness and yours hums with purpose, they'll remember, they'll replay the moments they underestimated you. They'll see you surrounded by new energy, people who match your growth, not your wounds. And that's when regret doesn't whisper, it roars. But here's the secret. By the time they feel it, you won't need it. You'll be too far ahead, too fulfilled, too focused. That's the beauty of growth. It gives you closure without the conversation. You stop wanting their apology because your evolution is the apology. My friends, becoming unreachable doesn't mean building walls. It means building wings. It means refusing to meet people at the level where they left you. Let them stay there if they choose. Your job is to keep climbing. So write this affirmation in the comments right now. I grow beyond reach. Say it loud. Show them, show yourself, show the world around you that you're done trying to be seen. You're rising to a level where only those who rise too can meet you. And stay with me, because what's coming next will show you how to turn that growth into presence so magnetic they won't just regret losing you. They'll question why they ever took you for granted. Number 5. Master the art of emotional control. Power is nothing more than the ability to stay calm when everything around you is trying to make you react. That, my friends, is where the real strength lies. Not in shouting louder, not in proving who's right, but in mastering your emotions when everything in you wants to break character. Because the truth is, they'll test you. They'll try to pull you back into old patterns, the over-explaining, the arguing, the desperate need to be understood. But Stoicism? It teaches you the opposite. It teaches you to observe instead of react, to understand instead of explode, and to respond with silence when chaos expects noise. Imagine this. You're standing in a room full of fire alarms blaring, lights flashing, chaos everywhere. Most people panic, running in circles, trying to stop the noise. But you calmly walk over, flip the switch, and everything falls quiet. That's emotional control. It's not about pretending the noise doesn't exist. It's about knowing when and how to turn it off. When they ignore you, when they act cold, when they do things just to trigger a reaction, your old self wants to scream, to demand clarity, to remind them of who you are. But the moment you do that, you hand them power. You give them exactly what they wanted, your peace. The Stoic way says, never give your peace away in exchange for attention. Because attention fades, but peace, once lost, takes months to rebuild. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people think being emotional means being real, but that's a lie. Being emotional is easy. Anyone can react out of hurt, anger, or pride. Being composed when you're hurting, that's rare, that's powerful. That's what makes them regret underestimating you, because emotional control confuses manipulators. They don't know how to fight someone who refuses to engage. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That one line separates the weak from the strong. They might have the power to reject you, but you have the power to respond with grace. And when you do, you shift the balance. You take back control of the emotional narrative. Now, let's be real, this isn't easy, because emotional control isn't built in comfort, it's built in discomfort. It's forged in the moments when your heart is racing, your mind is spinning, and every part of you wants to react. It's when you choose not to send that paragraph-long text. It's when you choose not to stalk their page, not to chase an explanation, not to reply out of pain. Every time you resist, you grow. You strengthen the muscle of restraint. And that muscle becomes your armor. But let's break a lie here. Many people mistake emotional control for emotional suppression. They think you're supposed to feel nothing. That's wrong. Stoicism doesn't ask you to be emotionless. It asks you to master emotion. Feel it fully, but don't let it lead you blindly. You can cry, you can hurt, you can reflect. Just don't let it push you into actions that betray your peace. That's not coldness, that's maturity. Picture yourself as a still lake. When someone throws a rock, their words, their indifference, their games, ripples form, sure. But soon the water returns to calm. That's how you must become. Calm after chaos. Peaceful after pain. The moment they realize nothing they do shakes you anymore, they lose control. And that's when regret begins to grow in their silence. People expect reactions. They expect drama, emotion, validation. When you don't give it, they start questioning themselves. They replay the situation in their head. They wonder if you've stopped caring, or worse, if you've outgrown them. That's the irony of emotional control. Your restraint becomes their curiosity. Your peace becomes their punishment. But emotional control isn't just about how you handle them, it's also how you handle yourself. When you can sit with your emotions instead of drowning in them, you stop living in reaction mode. You start living with purpose. Every emotion becomes a teacher. Anger shows you where your boundaries are. Sadness shows you what matters most. Fear shows you what's holding you back. Control doesn't mean you silence those voices. It means you listen, learn, and then choose your next move with clarity, not chaos. So, my friends, remember this. You don't win by reacting faster. You win by responding wiser. You don't win by showing how much you care. You win by showing how well you can carry it. Emotional mastery is the quiet revolution that makes them realize you've evolved beyond their reach. And when you can smile in the face of disrespect, when you can stay calm in the storm, when you can walk away without needing closure, that's when you truly reclaim your power. Because peace, composure, and restraint, those are the weapons of the wise. So write this affirmation in the comments right now. My calm is my power. Say it loud, feel it deep, and let the world and them see that your silence isn't weakness, it's command. And stay with me, because what's coming next will show you how to use that calmness to become the kind of energy that pulls everything you once chased right back to you. Number 6. Turn pain into power. Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. The most massive characters are seared with scars. Khalil Gibran. That line, my friends, isn't just poetry, it's truth. Because pain, as much as we hate it, is life's most honest teacher. It burns away the illusion, strips down the ego, and forces you to meet the real you. Every heartbreak, every rejection, every betrayal, they all come carrying a gift, wrapped in agony, sealed with silence. Most people throw that gift away because it hurts too much to open. But the Stoic unwraps it, studies it, and learns. Imagine a blacksmith at work, sparks flying, metal glowing red with heat. He's hammering, striking, reshaping. From the outside, it looks violent, destructive even, but what's happening is transformation. That's exactly what pain does to you. It's hammering away everything weak, everything that no longer serves you, everything you were pretending to be. The fire that burned you was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to forge you up. But let's be honest, when you're in the middle of it, it doesn't feel that way. When you've been ignored, replaced, or walked away from, your mind starts spinning. You ask, why me? You look at others and wonder how they're fine while you're falling apart. You replay conversations, texts, mistakes, as if rewriting the past will somehow fix the pain. That's what emotional shock does. It keeps you trapped in the moment that broke you. But listen closely. Pain doesn't want to trap you. It wants to train you. It's only through discomfort that we wake up to who we truly are. The lie we've been told is that pain is an enemy, that it means something's wrong with you. But in truth, pain is the invitation to evolve. Think about it. The gym doesn't grow your muscles through comfort. It grows them through resistance. The same is true for your soul. Pain is the resistance that builds emotional strength. Without it, you'd stay soft, complacent, predictable. Pain, when faced with courage, becomes your personal trainer in disguise. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the very thing you think is blocking you is actually building you. That heartbreak? It's teaching you self-respect. That rejection? It's pointing you towards something higher. That silence? It's forcing you to listen to your own voice. Still, I know, it's tempting to numb it, to distract yourself, to find quick comfort. But healing doesn't happen in avoidance. It happens in awareness. You can't outdrink, outscroll, or outrun what needs to be faced. Every time you suppress pain, you're just delaying growth. But when you face it, sit with it, breathe through it, learn from it, it transforms. It turns from poison into medicine. And when that transformation happens, something extraordinary follows. Power, real, quiet, steady power, the kind that doesn't need to prove or perform. Because when you've been through fire and survived, you stop fearing it. You stop reacting to people's opinions, to temporary rejection, to loss. Why? Because you've seen worse and lived to tell the story. You start walking differently. You stop chasing validation. You stop caring about what doesn't serve your peace, because pain taught you what peace really means. You learn that not every loss is tragedy. Sometimes it's divine intervention. Sometimes life removes what's blocking your path by breaking your heart first. They'll look at you later, calm, smiling, grounded, and they'll wonder how you did it. How you turned that heartbreak into hunger, that rejection into rebirth, but they'll never understand that your pain was the reason. Pain became your sculptor, carving out the old version of you so that strength could finally emerge. Let's be real, the same people who broke you will one day have to face the version of you they created. The version that no longer needs them, that no longer flinches, that no longer breaks. That's the quiet justice of life. Your evolution becomes their reflection. So stop resenting the pain. Start refining it. Stop asking why it happened and start asking what it's teaching you. Because the moment you do, you flip the script. You stop being the victim of your story and become the author of it. You see, pain doesn't just test you, it reveals you. It shows you who you are when everything is stripped away. And if you can face it with courage, it'll give you something no person, no loss, no betrayal ever could: wisdom. So write this affirmation in the comments below right now. My pain is my power. Say it loud, believe it, and let the world see that what was meant to destroy you became the reason you rose. Because, my friends, what's coming next will show you how to turn that power into presence, the kind of presence that makes them realize too late. They didn't break you, they built you. Number 7, make peace your revenge. Never waste your energy seeking revenge. The best revenge is no revenge, it's peace. My friends, that line right there, it hits like truth should, because peace isn't passive, it's power restrained, it's control mastered. When you've been hurt, disrespected, or walked over, your first instinct is to fight back, to show them what they lost, to make them feel what you felt. That's the human reaction. But the Stoic response, it's different. The Stoic doesn't chase closure. The Stoic becomes closure. Imagine this: someone throws stones at you. You could pick them up and throw them back, but what if instead you start building a foundation with them, a quiet fortress of peace, self-worth, and purpose? Every insult, every rejection, every betrayal becomes another brick. That's what making peace your revenge really means. It's refusing to hand over your emotions to those who already showed they don't know how to handle them. It's living in such calm confidence that it unsettles those who expected chaos. Let's break one of the biggest lies we've all been taught, that revenge feels good. It doesn't. It's empty sugar for the soul. It tastes sweet for a moment, then leaves you hollow. You think revenge will restore your dignity, but it only proves they still control you. Because the truth is, you can't heal by doing what hurt you. You heal by doing what frees you. And nothing frees you faster than peace. When you stop chasing, explaining, defending, and start living, they notice. They'll expect you to lash out, to fight, to play the same game. But when you stay calm, when you keep smiling, when you keep winning quietly, that's when regret begins to whisper in their mind. Because peace is confusing to the guilty. They can't understand how you're not angry anymore, how you've stopped trying to prove anything. That's when it dawns on them. You've moved on to a place they can't reach. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." And that's the golden rule right there. If they lied, you stay honest. If they played games, you stay real. If they disrespected you, you rise with dignity. You're not mirroring their darkness, you're mastering your light. That's what real power looks like. Calm in the chaos, dignity in the downfall, and compassion even when they don't deserve it. But let's be real, staying peaceful isn't easy, because peace demands discipline. It means biting your tongue when you could tear them apart with words. It means walking away when your ego wants to turn around. It means realizing that your silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And yes, it'll be hard. You'll feel that pull to prove your side, to show them they were wrong. But don't. Let time, growth, and their own reflection do the work. Time never loses a case it judges. You want to make them regret? Then build a life that looks like freedom. Get up early, work on yourself, smile without explanation, love again without fear. Live so deeply that their memory becomes just one chapter in your story, not the whole book. That's peace. And it's louder than revenge will ever be. They'll see it, maybe when you least expect it. The photos, the glow, the composure, the confidence, the way you're no longer checking for them, the way you laugh without bitterness. They'll feel it in that hollow space where your chaos used to live. That's when they realize they didn't just lose someone, they lost access to your energy, your warmth, your calm. And that realization, that's their silent punishment. Because peace doesn't chase, peace attracts. Peace draws everything good back to you. New people, new opportunities, new love, new life. You'll start noticing that once you let go of the noise, clarity arrives. You'll see your worth again. You'll see how everything that fell apart was just clearing the way for something greater. And you'll smile, not because you got revenge, but because you finally got yourself back. The version of you that laughs freely, sleeps peacefully, and walks with lightness. That's the ultimate full circle. They wanted a reaction. Instead, they got your absence. They wanted chaos. Instead, they got your calm. They wanted control. Instead, they gave you freedom. That, my friends, is poetic justice written by life itself. So if you're watching this right now, if something inside you is nodding quietly, I want you to write this in the comments. My peace is my revenge. Let it be your declaration. Because you owe no one an explanation for choosing peace. You owe no one a reaction when you've mastered detachment. And before you go, do one thing. Press that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this message today. Because maybe they're in the storm you've just walked out of. Maybe they need to be reminded that they don't have to fight back to win. They just have to let peace do the talking. Stay calm, stay grounded, stay stoic. Because in the end, the one who remains at peace always wins. Number 7, when they realize the silence is costing them. Sometimes it takes losing your peace to realize what peace was worth. My friends, this is where the story flips. This is where all the silence they used as power starts turning into their punishment. You see, there comes a moment when the quiet they thought would control you begins to echo back louder than they ever expected. They start to feel the weight of their own absence. The calm they mistook for indifference becomes unbearable because your silence has stopped being a reaction. It's become a reality. At first, they'll pretend it's fine. They'll distract themselves, talk to others, fill their time with noise, but that emptiness stays. It follows them like a shadow that won't go away. Because no matter what they do, your energy isn't there. The connection that once made them feel seen, grounded, alive, gone. And now they start to realize something painful. Silence isn't power when it's coming from the wrong side. Imagine this. They're scrolling through their phone late at night, that familiar wave of boredom hitting. They open the chat with your name on it, and for a split second, their thumb hovers over that message box. They type, they delete, they type again, then they stop. Why? Because their pride still whispers, "Don't do it." But their heart is louder now. It's screaming, "You've lost something real." That's when silence turns into consequence. Because, my friends, time has a funny way of humbling ego. Every day that passes without your attention chips away at their illusion of control. Every moment they don't hear from you, they start to feel the shift, that you're no longer waiting. You're no longer emotionally accessible. You've evolved from craving closure to becoming closure itself. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." That's what you've done. You didn't react. You didn't chase. You became what they couldn't, composed, peaceful, unbothered. And now, that silence they once thought would teach you a lesson is teaching them one instead. They'll start reminiscing about your laugh, your warmth, the way you understood without judgment. But what they'll remember most isn't what you said, it's the way you made them feel. That's what silence reveals. Because when words fade, only energy remains. And your energy, my friends, is not something easily forgotten. Soon, they'll start noticing the contrast. The people they replaced you with won't bring the same calm. The conversations will feel hollow. The attention will feel temporary because peace can't be copied. Energy can't be faked. They'll realize your presence was never just comfort. It was growth. It was reflection. And now they're left alone with what they tried to escape, themselves. Here's the irony. The silence they used to protect their ego becomes the silence that breaks it. They thought distance would make you miss them. Instead, it made them miss the version of themselves they could only access through you. You awakened something in them, and walking away from that awakening didn't set them free. It set them spinning. But let me tell you this, my friends, that's not your burden to carry anymore. You've played your part. You've shown patience, compassion, restraint. Now, your only responsibility is to protect your peace. Because the moment you stop chasing clarity and start embodying it, the dynamic shifts completely. They're no longer running from you. They're running toward a memory of you they can't recreate. Think about it like this. Silence is like gravity. It pulls everything unstable back to balance. Eventually, their ego collapses under the weight of its own pride. They start reaching out, not because they've suddenly changed, but because your calm made them see what chaos costs. And when that moment comes, you'll have a choice, not between revenge and forgiveness, but between reaction and recognition. Recognizing that you no longer need their apology to feel whole. That's real power. The Stoics called it apatheia, not indifference, but mastery over disturbance. You've reached the point where silence no longer feels like a punishment, it feels like peace. And from that peace, you'll attract things that match your energy, not drain it. So if they ever come back, remember this. It's not about whether they miss you, it's about whether you still miss the version of yourself that tolerated what hurt you. Because the person you've become through this silence, calm, confident, centered, deserves more than half-hearted effort and inconsistent affection. And when they realize what your silence truly costs them, it won't just be your presence they miss. It'll be their peace, their balance, their better self, all tied to the energy they pushed away. And by the time they see it clearly, you'll already be gone. Not bitter, not broken, just beautifully out of reach. So, say this with me and write it in the comments. My silence taught them what my words never could. Let it be your reminder, your declaration, your truth. Because sometimes the most powerful sound in the world isn't a scream, it's the quiet strength of someone who finally chose peace. If this message hit home, my friends, press that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this with someone who needs to remember their power. Because silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And the moment you embrace it, the world and everyone who underestimated you will hear it loud and clear.